Hi, welcome to another review today. I wasn't going to do this review, and then I thought, you know what, I will. So, if people can remember, way back in November on my actual birthday, I did a review called Two New Amazing Series. I think that's what I called it. And it was about the first book in the Revivalist series and the first book in the MetaWars series. And I've read the second one since, so I thought, you know what, I'll do a little bit of an update review. So, first I'll start off talking about the second book in the Revivalist series, but if you're here on this video to watch the review on Changeling, you can jump to this time. Okay, so the second book is called 2 Weeks Notice, and it's by Caine, and I loved the first book. I thought it was amazing. If you're watching this review and you haven't read the first book, switch off now and go watch the other review. So Bryn in this book, yeah, she's a really likable character, and I liked the story where it was going. I just loved it the way it was, but the author, I think, got afraid that it would be a bit repetitive, so she kind of changed it up. I was just happy with the way it was. So I loved the second book up until about the last 30 pages, where the author changed it up. Other people might find it an exciting change. I didn't like it at all. I don't like where it's going, so I'm not as excited for the third book. But until those last 30 pages, I thought the book was going great. As usual, all the relationships are really lovely, like Bryn and Joe and Bryn and Patrick got really close. I can't say much more without spoiling the story, so that's going to be my short spoiler-free review. It was a very, very good book until the very end. But that's that. So now I'm going to do a spoiler review, so if you haven't read the second book, I suggest to switch off now. Okay, I got really tired of kind of Bryn's very casual treatment of Patrick at the beginning of this book. Like she just wanted to treat them like friends with benefits, and I was like, no, that's terrible. But then I loved after they got close, you know, after they slept together, and they were really close and sweet. Unfortunately, that didn't last long. So I didn't like the tension between them after, like, Jane, the psycho ex-wife, came into it. That's just terrible when we have the protagonist love interest kind of thinking about someone else. Liam in this book was great as well. We didn't get much of him in the first book, but he was really nice in the second. So just when I was getting used to Bryn's kind of situation, you know, I loved the story, except for her, like, super healing. Then the author goes and makes it 1,000 times worse by turning her into this, like, super, like, zombie, like, machine that doesn't even need time to heal. There's, like, she's healed like that, and she needs to eat bodies, and it's just horrible. I'm like, no, like, I'm so glad that the author did that, and I was happy with the story. Like, she didn't need to change it for me. So the third book, I'm not sure what to think about it. Like, her and Patrick are not in a good place, and she's just this weird monster thing. If they manage to reverse that nanite infection thing, that would be great. I don't know how that will happen. But yeah, it's strange where the author went with it. That's all I have to say really on 2 Weeks Notice. I preferred Working Stiff, obviously, but as an overall book, it was really good, with a good exciting story in there. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the second book in the MetaWars series by Caine, and this is called Changeling. So if you watch my other review, you know I loved the first book. I loved Teresa and Gage and everything, and all the characters, and it was really exciting. And then I finished it, and I was like, I can't wait for the second book. And then I read, you know, the description of the second book and found out it was from Dahlia's point of view. Oh, I was so disappointed and upset by this, because I hate when books, you know, switch the narrator between books. Oh, I just don't like it. And I was like, oh, well, I read it anyway, and it was an okay book, but it wasn't as good as the first one. Like, I loved all the Teresa Gage moments in this book, but, like, there was an excess of Dahlia in it for me. I mean, she's an okay character, and I liked her relationship with all the other superheroes, but yeah, I just wasn't very interested in her compared to Teresa and Gage. I read, like, a few reviews on it, and before I read it, and everyone just kept talking about the ending, saying it was a pure jump to the shark ending, like, that was crazy, and you were like, what the F, like, it was just unexplainable. So then I was kind of looking forward to reading this big weird ending. I was like, ooh, what's going to happen? And then I did read it, and now I am like, where is the next book going to go? I have no idea. It was really, really weird. And unfortunately, I'm just not as excited for the next book. Like, if it was from Teresa's point of view, I probably will read it. If it's from another character's point of view, I don't think I will. I don't know. I'll see yet. But yeah, I mean, it was an okay book until the until the very, very end. It's so strange. I started out loving these two books or these two series, and they just didn't turn out as well as I hoped. So now I'm going to do a little bit of a spoiler review on Changeling. So if you haven't read it and you don't want to know what happens in the very end, switch off now. Okay, so I don't even know how to explain what happened in the end. So Dahlia, she's like in, I can't remember his name, that man's body as well. So are they like sharing a body? It's so strange. I don't understand it. And actually he was taking over that body as well. So there's like 3 of them in there. I don't know. It's just really, really weird. As I said, I did love the whole Gage Teresa thing where she was shot and all, you got to see all her friends worried about her, and Gage, she was so sweet, and the story itself was, you know, it was good, but yeah, I just literally have no idea where the third book's going to go. I don't know who's narrating it or what's going to happen with Dahlia. It'll probably be from someone else's point of view. I assume the author is going to like jump through the you know, that bunch of kind of good guy superhero characters. But yeah, so that's the only kind of spoiler I have to talk about. So out of those 2 books, I did prefer 2 Weeks Notice. It was just better overall. But the both of them had just endings I wasn't crazy about. So I will read the third book in the Revivalist series, although I'm not as excited about it as I was for the second. The MetaWars series, I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see what the description is like. So that's my review on those 2 books. If you've read them, let me know what you thought. Like, did you like the endings? I don't know. But that's my review for today. So happy reading everyone, and so on.